Hello and welcome. This is Amanda, the Nerdy Crafter, and I'm here today with our first Make It Simple Monday for the month of March. And for this month, we have chosen bunnies, which I have a plethora of different bunnies in the Art Impressions collection. So let me flip through a few of the options that we have for this month. I did make this on the LV Handcrafted card challenge just a couple weeks ago, so you can go check out that video to see how I made this one. And this is such an adorable set. I may pull this one back in. Excuse me, the sentiments are adorable. The little chicks in here and this bunny in the pot that I made was super adorable. So that's probably one we'll pull back in. This is Winter 2023 bunny, and this one sitting on the log with the little pot is adorable also. This is the new set that just came out. This is a spring keepsake set, and I love this bunny, but I was thinking about putting it in this basket here, so not sure on that, but this bunny is super adorable, so that's another option. We have these cute little exclusive bunnies. These just baby bunnies. They're so tiny, so that might be a nice little thing to add. I have a whole series of sentiments here for the chocolate. Amen to that. Hoppity Easter, somebody loves you. So some good sentiments to possibly use. This is one of the front and back, so I can put this going both ways. So I kind of peek through card on that one, so that's an option. This is one of my all-time favorites. It is a scrapbook.com exclusive, but OMG, I think I'm going to do this one today. Small bunny with the egg on it, so another 2024 exclusive. And then some of the OGs. I love this bunny in the Peking Animals. I use this set quite a bit when I'm teaching. And then these cute little bunnies down here. So just a lot of options for bunnies this month. So let's get playing. I said I was thinking about doing this one, and I think I am. That one just completely speaks to me. It is one of my faves. And I do like bringing in both the watercoloring pieces in the art impression line and also some of just the regular stamped images. So this I would consider more of just a stamped image that I am going to watercolor. And I think I have done this. Yeah, I can see I've used this one before. My stamp is seasoned. I'm going to keep with the same theme if I can and doing the artist trading card size for the cards. I'm going to bring in my new black. It is a Lisa Horton Cloud 9. This has some really intricate pieces with the straw and with his cute little flower pants. So his or her, it could be a her bunny. We'll call it a her bunny. I bring in my stamp press. Now I'm not pressing very hard. I'm not doing CPR. I'm just doing a smooth and firm so that the stamp does connect with the paper. I'm going to go ahead and do one more. I find with the watercolor paper, if I want a nice crisp outline, I generally do a 2 stamp with it. There we go. Nice and crisp. Let me just grab a little cleaner real quick. We'll get this cleaned up and put back away. I've been using my Misty Stamp Positioner very well lately, so it's getting a lot of love and definitely could use a little TLC. Okay, let me just find all my pieces here. I already misplaced part of the acetate for this. It will pop up. It's okay. I will locate it later. All right. So with this one, we just need to decide what color we want our bunny. This is one of the images that Joel has done the coloring for us on, so it shows us. This package is not being fun. Okay. So Joel is in the coloring, so he shows us the coloring sources on here. which is very, very helpful. So I'm going to pull in the 947 and the 969 for my bunny. I do want some pink in there, so let's bring in, actually I want a lighter pink. Let's do the 743. This is a new one that I've been using recently. I do like the teal and the yellow for the straw. I'm just going to go along with that. The little swoosh for the water. And then the pants, I think I'm going to do the teal. I usually bring in purple, so I would normally bring in the purple. But I think I'm going to stick with the same teal that's in the straw. So we're going to match that up. All right. So let's grab our water. And I actually need to refill my water bottle. I emptied it out after my last color and forgot to refill it. So it does not take a lot of water, just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring in a different watercolor brush today. So this is the Yasu Tomo brush. It is a number 2, which is equivalent to the number 4 that we normally use in the Art Impressions line. And it is a newer brush that I've been playing with recently, and I really do enjoy it also. Get that brush activated, make sure we get all the water off so we don't drip anything anywhere else. I'm going to start with the yellow. So I'm going to do the 993. 1, because I had it at the bottom here of my palette and I like to stick my finger in it. And 2, because I find that color is a harder color. If it's going to bleed, I want to know right away. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. It is Monday. Mondays are always a wild day. I am watercoloring this in advance because I release this first thing Monday morning. So I like to have this done just a few days in advance. And I've got a yoga camp that I'm going to this weekend, so that made me push this back, and I actually am watercoloring this on the Wednesday before the first Monday, because I am going to be doing some yoga for the next couple days. I'm in the process of completing my 200-hour yoga certification with a focus in chair yoga. I have some nerve damage in my leg, so I decided for myself and for others that just don't always like to get down on the ground, that some chair yoga would be really helpful. And I have truly been enjoying it. Oh, that is super adorbs. This image is so cute and so simple to watercolor. I'm going to bring in that 743. And for this, I want to do his paw, a little bit in the ears. So when I bring in a pink, I generally use more water. And then I build it up because I generally want it to be just on the little lighter side. And I find that the pens are just a little dark, so I do tend to use a little bit more water. For his footsie, I do want to build that up a little bit. But definitely for his cheek, it does not need to be very dark. And I am going to be going over that with the browns, so it's okay. I may bring that back in a little bit more later. Add a little bit of that 947 to my palette, and I'm going to start with that with my watercolor. Same method that I normally use, so I'm starting where the darkest areas are going to be. For this one, we're assuming the light's coming from the top, so I kind of do it from where his face is. So his face is at the top, so light source is coming in from here. So the darkest point will be where my finger goes out of it, so coming in and out. So the bottom side of him is going to be the darkest in this instance. And this little foot is being covered by the other foot, so definitely going to be darker. The back side of his hand. It looks like we left his tummy white, so we will mimic that. He's going to be dark on this side of his head, and the back side here. His ears are going to be darker. And again, if you don't want to focus on light source and you just want to color and have fun, I say you do you. You have a blast. Don't let light sourcing and fear of making a mistake keep you from watercoloring. Because for the longest time, I did not care one iota about light sourcing. All I wanted to do was have fun and put some color on paper. And if you want, you can simply just copy the image that is colored on the packaging for you. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to pull in my 969. And you know what? I might use a little bit of this combo one here. I want it to be just a little bit darker brown with a gray undertone, so I mixed in a little bit of the 565 with it to bring out a little bit of that darker shadow with it. So I tend to use the same methodology that Copic or alcohol marker colorists use. So they lay down their light color first, and then they come in with their darker color second. I've taken a lot of my classes, both from Bonnie, but also from a number of alcohol marker teachers. So I kind of incorporate both styles within my watercolor. So I like the flicking technique because I find that I can blend my edges easier. I find that it doesn't get, I don't have to work them as hard to get them to blend. And then, of course, always remember that your watercolor is going to dry back. So you're going to leave this overnight, leave it for a couple hours, and the colors will dry back just a little bit so they're not as harsh. I also tend to darken just a little bit more when I'm on camera, just so I can make sure you can see what I'm doing. The camera not only adds 10 pounds, but it also lightens things up. So it does the opposite with watercoloring. It lightens things up. It makes it a little harder to see the images. So it's all good. So I have this gray combo that I've built before. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that since we do have a little bit of white area here. I'm just going to add a little bit of gray to there because nothing in nature is actually white. It's got hints of blue shadows and such to it. And I'm going to do a little bit on the ice cubes also. I just want to give them a little bit of definition. So I'm just kind of following the lines a little bit, specifically on the bottoms and the sides, just to give them a little bit of definition. Same thing on my cup. There's going to be some shadows underneath my bunny sitting here, underneath the lid, underneath the ear. And these little extras, just adding this little bit of highlight, really makes your image pop. Gives it just a little bit of definition and helps that image pop off the page. All right, and the last thing I want to do is there's a swirl of blue in here to imitate the water. So we are going to mimic that also. So that is a 526. I'm going to be very light with my pinch. So there is extra water on here because I do want this to be a little bit lighter. I'm not coming in and picking up the color directly. I'm actually picking it up and tapping it off to have a lighter color. And I'm just going to come in and swirl that in. Swirl, swirl, swirl. It's like a back and forth Z here. All right, now we have this adorable little bunny here. I do want to darken up a little bit of the pink now that I've gotten everything completed. I did like his cheek there. And then I'm going to bring in both my pink. That's a really dark pink. Let's bring in the lighter pink. That one's super dark. And my brown. I'm going to close this up because I don't trust myself not to spill it. I just want to darken in his ears just a little bit. Remember, adding some of these little accents, whether we bring in the white, the Dr. P.H. Martin's white, or whether I bring in my pens here and just add a little bit of highlight to different areas. So I'm just accentuating some of the lines. I'm not retracing all of them, but some of the areas where I know are just going to be just a little bit darker, I'm going to accentuate them. I always like to go over the eye and the nose, pop that up a little bit. I do have a tendency to like to do some little speckles. It adds a little texture and definition. Let's see. I do have a light blue one also. I love these twin tones. I had purchased a set a while ago and I've put them in a safe place. I'm sure none of you can relate to that. So I had to purchase them again. So it's all good, all good. Okay, I am going to bring in my Dr. P.H. Martin's. I did need to purchase a new one. I've had one for years because I purchased it, gosh, probably 5 or 6 years ago when I was doing my alcohol markers, and it did dry up on me. So I did go ahead and purchase a brand new one. So this is brand new. So I just add a couple spots in the darker areas over those areas that I've added in the speckles. I can add it in over the ice cubes, over the straw. And it's just these little things that add so much to your project. It's amazing how a little dot can just change the way your image looks. All right, just a couple speckles. That's all we need. And then make sure we clean that brush really good. That does contaminate the water, so I do clean my water after using the white. Clean that off. And we are good to go. So all that is left is signing this artwork. This is my first bunny for our Make It Simple Monday March edition. We have 5 weeks this month, so 5 Mondays in the month. So we are going to have lots of fun exploring all of our cute little bunnies. Thank you so much for joining me. I will put together a card later on in the month, so follow along to see that video, either a card sketch or something that just tickles my fancy. So I will put together the cards later and add this onto a card. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later. Bye.